Hi friends, welcome to day 15 of Sparkle into Spring. I'm Jennifer Stewart, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about the hard stuff because we all know that it's not all about sparkle. As much as I would like to pretend it is, the reality is that it's not. So what do you do for those times where things maybe are hard? They're challenging. You have a hard anniversary that comes up. You're dealing with some really challenging situations in your life. Chances are you've been there. Maybe you're there now. I know that there are a lot of people who are going through a lot of stuff. So, the first thing I want to say is that you're not alone. Even though sometimes you may feel alone, you're not alone. So, one of the things you can do is actually make a list of people who are there for you, people who love you, people that you can reach out to, even though you may not want to reach out. Probably one of the hardest things that I've had to learn to do, and I know I'm not alone, is ask for help. It's not easy. It really is not easy. But somehow we've got it in our head that we have to deal with things on our own. That's not true. When you find someone that you can unload to or relate to or even ask for help and assistance, direct assistance, you feel better. Sometimes you just need an ear. Sometimes you need support. Sometimes you need other kinds of help. The important thing is to ask. Most people are happy to help. Now, that's not always going to be the case. However, if you've got a confidant, a mentor, a friend, a spouse, someone, find someone, and whether it's to unload or ask for help, let people know that you do need help. That is a huge, huge part of it. And we have to let go of, this false belief that we have to deal with everything by ourselves, because we don't. And I can tell you, I still have to reach out sometimes, and I always feel better. Sometimes it's even when you're dealing with, internal stuff. It helps to have someone just to relay things back and forth. Now, what about hard dates, anniversaries of things that have happened, things that could potentially bring you down to your knees? I've got a few of those, and chances are you probably do too. I wasn't sure I would share this, but I think that it will certainly exemplify and amplify exactly what I'm talking about here. A couple of days ago marked the 3-year anniversary of when my granddaughter Jasmine got burns, second and third degree burns on a large part of her body when she was just a year old on my watch in Hollywood, California. To say that it was a nightmare is probably the biggest understatement that I could ever even say. So as you can imagine, the last little bit I've been really thinking about that. Now, several months ago, I did a lot of deep work, and I do this a lot, but this particular work was on forgiveness of myself. And that was something that I had no idea how in depth, how raw, how deep it was going to be. It was probably one of the most challenging and difficult things that I had ever done. I'm talking literally, I'm not even exaggerating. I had literally times where I was wailing, not crying. I mean wailing, like just everything coming out of me. I've never experienced the full range and gamut of emotions that I did while I was doing self-forgiveness. And it was over a course of a few days. What I can tell you wholeheartedly is by releasing a lot of this forgiving myself, doing a lot of energy work on myself, and a lot of healing, a lot of giving myself grace enabled me to be able to not fall apart for this anniversary. That's the only thing I can tell you, because it would have been really easy for me to lock myself up, beat myself up, go right back to that time and experience all that all over again. And I didn't, because I have done the work. Does that mean it's easy? Does that mean that I forgot it happened? Absolutely not. It was something I will never forget. And I've had a lot of injuries and a lot of things that have happened to me over the course of my life. But thankfully, I do have the tools. I did do the work, and I'm able to navigate much better through that. Now, does that mean that's going to work for everyone? Absolutely not. But it is a tool, and it's something that I truly believe was definitely the catalyst to me being able to not fall apart. So consider that. And, the other thing is you have to be able to just feel, experience whatever it is that you need to experience. Heal, feel. We're afraid of feeling. You've heard me talk about that before. We need to get better at experiencing that uncomfortableness of those emotions. It's just energy in motion. Remember that. That's all it is. So when we remember that, instead of stuffing everything, which we're really, really good at doing, that causes a lot of problems afterwards, if we stop and we remember, process, just let it flow. And then we'll get used to experiencing it and let it go down the river. I want to just talk a minute. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this kind of thing where something happens to a person and it impacts their mood. And we've all had that, right? We've all experienced things. We're human, so we're going to have these different experiences. Now, he also talks about, what about a few weeks down the road and somebody sees that person and, what's up? Well, this thing happened to me a couple of weeks ago. Well, that's okay. But what if it's, another year? Then it kind of becomes more of a program in you, right? So it doesn't mean that what am I trying to say? It means that we need to be able to process to be able to get to another stage. It doesn't mean that this crappy thing hasn't happened to you, but you need to make a choice whether or not you're going to let it be the basis of your personality, of your attitude, your beliefs. And sometimes we can get caught up, and that all of a sudden we're still at that stage of whatever it was that happened, whether it's 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 5 years ago, a month ago. We need to process. We need to give ourselves lots of grace and lots of space to be able to process. But at the same time, we need to figure out a way to be able to not let what has happened to us control our lives. That's the hard part. I'm not saying it's easy, but it is doable. And it starts with making a decision. And maybe that's where you need to talk to someone. Energy work has been the missing piece for me for a lot of stuff. And it makes so much sense. And I feel that I'm really getting to the root of a lot of things. It's not the be all end all. Everything works together. But give yourself grace. Find someone to talk to. Really be kind to yourself. Experience whatever it is that you need to experience, to go through whatever it is that you need to do to get through that. Just don't let it take control of your life. For me now, I get ticked off. Trust me, I have my little hissy fits. I usually work on giving myself a time frame. So I do, and it's kind of a game. But I'll say, you know what, this is really crappy right now, so I'm going to give you a couple hours, and then you're going to have to figure out a way to move on. And it works. But it does take practice, just like everything. Practice, practice, practice. Repetition is the mother of skill. It's how we learn. We're not going to get on a bike and ride it right away, just like everything. So remember, give yourself some grace, and I hope that this helps. Life is hard sometimes. That's part of it. We have to be able to navigate, figure out what it is that works for us to be able to push through so we still can come out shining and being our authentic self. And just because you're sparkling doesn't mean that you don't have stuff going on. Remember that. Hope this serves you, friends. Thanks so much and have a fabulous day. And remember, do something that makes you sparkle today and every single day. Bye for now.